Okay, guys, let's get into it. Again, this is the 8th Special Forces Regiment operating in the Kursk region. In these compilation videos, I'll be showing you guys. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, FPV drones are super hard to fly, and that's what they're flying right now. They're super acrobatic and not too difficult to learn. You just have to really take your time. It's very, very small, minor movements on the FPV control. What we usually use out there is radio master controls. So it'll be like a TX12, TX16, if you know what that is. If you don't, you can just look it up and it'll pop up. Yeah, FPV drones get up to like 50, 60 miles per hour, so they move super, super fast. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm pretty sure that's the speed of it. Probably faster, depending on, like, I would say the power outage or the power input into the drone and what the drone can handle. Yeah, he just woke that guy up. And again, this isn't to glorify war, to glorify, it killing people. It's more about the knowledge-based aspect of it. And if you're under 18, obviously you shouldn't be watching this video. But it is what it is. So everything you see on the screen, too, as well. It's called your telemetry. So on the radio master control, you're able to control your telemetry, how fast you want to see the updates of it. So on the control, it'll be like 1 to 32, 1 to 64, 1 to 128, I believe. And that's how fast it gives you an update on the control of where the battery voltage is at, the altitude levels, uh, what else? Your connection, and that's your TX signal. So everyday phone usage that we use on our phones, it's the same exact thing. Like you have 5G LTE. So we have something called repeaters that helps boost the signal, and it'll be from like 2.8 to 5.8 gigahertz in between that, and it sends out a signal to uh, the FPV drone. That repeater is connected to a cable connected to the control, and it sends out the signal towards the target. And the reason you see like kind of like a gap in between where it like shuts out, is because maybe the FPV control doesn't uh, have a its own omnidirectional antenna towards it, which improves it all the way to the target until it blows up and then it goes static. But if it doesn't have it, it's definitely, you don't need it technically. It's just when you start flying down to the target, it's just gonna cut out because the signal is getting lost. And then you have your VTX signal, other than the TX, and that video transmission. That's what it stands for. It's supposed to give you good connection all the way to the target, uh, and whatnot. And you're able to check your VTX connectivity, see how good it is, and that operates on megahertz. So kind of like similar to radios, actual radios. Instead of pairing the actual, I would say, video, uh, or seeing a video transmission, you're listening to what's going on. So for video transmission is what you're seeing. For radio, actual radio transmission is what you're hearing and how clear it is. So kind of similarities in a sense. Yeah, guys, I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm just giving back the knowledge that I know and everything like that. So operating out here in terms of like the mission set, what these guys are doing, their mission is to target uh, logistical vehicles um, carrying ammunition or vehicles just driving down the road, kind of deterring what they're trying to do because they're probably more likely transporting things to individuals located at different positions along the front line. So for like ATVs and whatnot, you're hitting gas tanks, the engine, vehicles, same thing. Usually just the engine on the bigger vehicles. Uh, for tanks, the hatch was open, you're able to dive down inside of there, or you hit the tube itself, but usually you try to get inside there, and then you're able to hit the where they store the ammo at. And once you hit that portion, which is located, depending on what tank it is, like for example, I think a T-72 tank is like located on the right side in the front near where the uh, the tube is that shoots the round. And FPV drones, they operate differently when it comes to flying, but when it comes to um, actual surveillance drones and whatnot, they fly different, but they actually run exactly the same. So when you're actually doing that, you just have to be wary of how, I guess, your connection is. If that makes sense. Probably didn't. APC vehicles, so vehicles with like back hatches, you can hit them from the back and then hit them again, keep those troops inside. And with this type of flying, it's more than just your mission, man. It's way more than that, actually. uh, it's more about how you fly and how you get there. So with this, when you're flying, you can't have GPSs inside of your drone, mainly because it could get tracked back to wherever your position is, and then they'll just bomb the hell out of it. So you have to have a navigator with you as you're flying, and preferably you fly down something we call the main supply route or a road, right? That you're going to use to your advantage, flying down the road, especially if it's a straight shot. It's perfect. You just fly down there and then hit your target. And then navigating there, it's just one shot with FPVs. Just remember the route, but surveillance drones, you need to retain that. If you do a drone drop, you bring that drone back to your position. Uh, yeah, you bring it back to your position and then you reattach it, unless it gets shot down, which happens a lot. And defending against drones is literally impossible unless if it has like fiber optic uh, material on it. The fiber optic material can't stop any EW or electronic warfare from stopping it from happening. Unfortunately, it's just gonna fucking, excuse my language, it's gonna keep going. You can't stop it. And how the electronic warfare works, it operates on the frequency of the drones. So whenever it pings in the sky, it pings the electronic warfare, it sends out a shot, and then it basically drops it. What else? So with explosives, which I'm just gonna touch on because I don't want people doing anything crazy. You have your point detonations, so the little pin in the center of the explosive, whatever the case is, you tying it down on the drone, and it's super active, so you got to be careful of how you fly it, especially if it's an active mortar or frag. The frag you attach to the drone itself, pull the pin, make sure it's strapped down tight, and then you release it from the surveillance drone. So that's when you see these videos of people dropping it, and you see like the light flash and the mavic control. It's because the light triggers uh, the payload system, and then it releases it, triggers it, and then it drops the drone with the spoon attached to it. Then it falls off, and then the time is set on the frag. Let's see, let's see. So when it comes to this, we have something called that I brought from the infantry over to this world was target precedence. So it's order in which targets should be engaged. Depending on your mission set, it's going to determine that. So if our job is to deter the enemy from assaulting this position, and then our job is to attack individuals. If our job is to uh, conduct reconnaissance and destroy enemy equipment, right? If that's our job, we're going to be hitting vehicles, we're going to be hitting tanks, targets, anything that's going to help them with their mission. We're trying to, uh, let's say, stop that from happening. Okay, so that's one thing I brought over with me was target precedence, engagement criteria. You know, can we reach this target? Can we engage this target? Is it possible? In this environment, what I could say is like you're not really thinking about a lot of the stuff I'm thinking about during the moment. You're just kind of just going, but before actually conducting it, it's pretty much just in your mind of like what you need to do. And I'm thankful for the infantry because it definitely transferred a lot of stuff into this world. In a sense, a lot of stuff I forgot about, but in terms of just like how I approach things, uh, it definitely helped out a lot. And I didn't do a lot as much as everybody else did. Um, but I did my own thing after a while, and then I found a really good team out there, and I learned from them. So, and again, like yeah, it might look cool or whatever the case is. I don't suggest going out there and doing any of this. Like it's super dangerous. Your life is at risk when you're out there, and you could die. Um, I don't say this to scare you, whatever the case is. You want to be some type of hero if you're young, or whatever the case is. Like, don't do it. I'm telling you right now, even operators, so drone operators get targeted the most. So don't do it if you're not willing to risk it, and if you don't know the risk. And if you're young, live your life. You know, if you want to go there in a few years, then that's okay. If you feel like you know, lived a good life, but I don't suggest this by any means. This shit is very real, especially the technology now that's changing everything. It's completely surreal to see and whatnot, or even just going there to help. You know, you're still in danger because drones and everything hits the city all the time, missiles, rockets. There's nothing you could do about it. You know, you're a target every day. Everybody's a target, even civilians. It's just sad, but Yeah. It's important to, depending on how much FPV drones you have, depending, you're gonna hit what's most important in the moment, and then whatever you have left, you'll hit the secondary. Uh, it's just it's called ammo allotment in the military, but drone allotment. So how much drones do we have to operate before we withdraw and pull back and reset to do it again? And with this, you got to be really, really good at land navigation. Um, Understanding land nav, understanding terrain features, water features, if you get close to it. All that transferred over really, really well, I could say. Um, Map work, yeah, understanding how to do map work, but if you know your position where you're at, pinpoint it on the map, all you have to do is just like, okay, fly near this road or near this water feature, whatever the case is. I think that is the last one. Maybe not. I think so. Okay, guys. Other than that, I know I was talking a lot in the video and whatever. You can just shut off my voice if you want to and just watch the video, which I think is possible. But again, overall, good video. It's a video from the UA Special Forces Regiment, the 8th Special Forces Regiment operating in Ukraine. I never met anybody from that unit when I was over there, but these guys are pretty high speed. They know what they're doing. They're not just conducting on the ground operations, they're doing drone stuff too as well, because it's super effective on the battlefield and is causing majority of the casualties that are occurring, uh, other than trench assaults and CQB that they're doing out there. So again, hopefully guys learned something from this video. I gave a lot of information. Some of the stuff I might have been a little bit off on, but kind of just put you in a direction or perspective of what a drone operator does on the ground and everything like that from my little experience I have. So hopefully it benefits you, and you're not using it for that. But anyways, just messing around. Thanks for watching the video. It's your boy Voice on Trinchera Assalto. See you in the next one.